Baby, this is reality TV gold. What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. We are here today to talk about the Braxtons season 6, episode 4. And the name of the episode is called Where Did We Go Wrong? Baby, starting with Evelyn, that's where y'all went wrong. Listen, when I tell you this is top tier reality TV, because it's real. But we are talking about shit that happened from 1995. You can't do no shit like this on the Housewives. The only thing that we had close to this, I'm telling you, the only thing that we had close to this was that escape, and SWV. And the thing is, we didn't even we didn't really need SWV. We didn't really need SWV. All we needed was escape because SWV didn't really give us anything. Escape carried the show, if we being real, right? But we just gonna have to talk because it was too much that was going on in this dinner scene, and we just gonna have to talk. Okay. Now, I definitely believe that this dinner scene went the way that Tamar wanted it to happen. Okay, but I don't think that everything was all Tamar's fault. I'm fair, and I'm just gonna call it the way I see it. To me, it looked like Tamar was having a manic episode. I've seen it in my family. I have it in my family. I'm not ashamed to say it. And they talked about Tamar's mental health at the table for a little bit, and Towanda was saying that she wasn't going to argue with nobody that was sick, but you did though. And not only did you argue with somebody that was sick, you wanted your sister to call the police on them. And I don't think that it escalated that much for the laws to be called, in my opinion. Okay, but again, I'm fair. It wasn't all Tamar, and I'm just going to tell you how I feel about everything that happened. Okay, now with Tamar, I feel like Tamar is weaponizing her child. I think that the cease and desist, from what Toni said, the cease and desist wasn't even about Tamar. It was about Ashley. And what we know now is that the cease and desist was from her father. The cease and desist was about Ashley, and it came from her daddy, and that was already in the media earlier this year or last year. Okay? Tamar tried to flip it and make it seem like that she and Logan was. See, Tamar is a stunt queen. She tried to flip it and make it seem like she and Logan wasn't safe because the process server had her address, and that somebody had to give the process server her address because the house or the place where she lives is not even in her name. But it doesn't have to be in your name, Tamar. That's what a private investigator does. They go and search for you. As long as you got an Amazon package there, baby, you can be found. You can be found. Even if you had a CPN, as long as you got an Amazon package there, they can hire a private investigator to go and find where you live. Okay? And for all we know, Mommy probably sold you out. Miss E probably sold you out. Okay? So I don't know. Now, do I believe that Toni said that they should bring Ashley on the Braxtons? I do believe that Toni said that. I also believe that she said, what did she say? She told Tamar that her podcast was a shitling circuit. Baby, what kind of balls do Toni have for her to tell Tamar to her face that her podcast was a chitlin circuit? Right? What type of balls do she have? Okay. Now I also believe what Toni said. I believe that she wanted Ashley to come on the show so they can all talk to Ashley as a family and work out their issues. I do believe that. Okay. What I think happened is what I said before. I think that Tamar seen the backlash that the family got because in Ashley video, Ashley said that one of her aunts and her family don't talk to her. And that's why I always say, if you're going to say their names. If you're going to say it, say their names or leave it at the playground, right? Tamar wanted to make sure that she wasn't grouped in and seen as the aunties that cut communication off with Ashley, which wasn't true, right? Because Ashley was born in 1992. And so when she was 16 years old, that was in 2008. And I know I've seen Ashley on Braxton Family Values before a couple of times. And they even showed clips of her on the show earlier this season. And the Braxton Family Values didn't even air until 2011. So that means that she was 19 when the Braxton Family Values aired, and so you still had a relationship with your aunts. Now, to be fair, she said it was sometime after that her aunt had made the assumption that she wasn't as innocent as she made herself seem with the text messages. But it still goes to show you still had a relationship with your family, because she said my aunt and family, right? You still went to go live with Tamar after that. You got around there to LA, then you went into LA with Tamar and Vince, and they sent you started acting a fool, and they sent her ass back to Baltimore, and then she went and worked for Toni as her assistant. So she was not cut off from the family like she made it seem in that video. But I think that Tamar wanted the girl to come on her podcast and tell her story to exploit her and make it seem like that she supported her. And what Tamar was trying to do was not give her sisters the opportunity, because it seemed that everybody, or it seems that nobody knew what was going on except for Trina and Michael. Tamar and Toni both said that they didn't know. Towanda hasn't said whether she knew or not. I believe that Towanda knew, even though she hadn't said that she didn't know. But I believe that Towanda and Trina are the closest, and I believe that if Trina told anybody, she told Towanda. And I think that Towanda would have said to the camera that she didn't know if she didn't know. Okay? Trina said that her name isn't on the cease and desist. If Trina's name is not on the cease and desist, or if the girls' names are not even on the cease and desist, what are we even talking about? Again, the cease and desist was for Ashley. It wasn't for Tamar, right? I think that Michael probably had his reasons for why he didn't want Ashley talking about it. I'm sure he feels like Tamar was exploiting Ashley, and it was not shutting down Tamar's business. It didn't prevent Tamar from making other podcasts. He just didn't want her talking about it on her platform. And to be honest, I would have felt the same way. And I know that y'all are going to have a different opinion saying that she should be able to tell her story. She should be able to tell her story. But y'all can't tell me that Tamar wasn't exploiting Ashley. If she had a podcast, okay, listen to me. Check this out. If Ashley told her story on TikTok, now all of a sudden Ashley is going to be on Tamar's podcast. But now all of a sudden, too, Tamar podcast will be filmed live with a studio audience. That's bullshit. That was the first time her podcast ever was shot live with a studio audience, or with a live audience. Because it wasn't even a studio. The podcast was so low budget or so chilling circuit, it wasn't even a studio. It was just at some restaurant or some event space, right? And on top of that, Tamar said out her own mouth that she hadn't seen Ashley since Lauren's funeral. And that was 10 years ago. She flew Ashley in. What she said was that she flew Ashley in because she didn't want the next time she see her to be at her funeral. It took 10 years for you to see your niece? 10 years after she told this story on TikTok? Tamar was trying to exploit the girl. Let's take out what happened between the girl and Gabe and Trina. Tamar is trying to exploit that girl. If Tamar really wanted to have a conversation with her niece and support her, they could have all sat down with the girl and talked to the girl, because the girl grouped Tamar in. She didn't say except for Tamar. She said she was cut off by the family. Okay? Ashley. With Ashley, for me, I think that Ashley got to LA. I think that Vince got her a job at the record label, and they said that he rented her a Range Rover. And I think that she got down there and she started fucking up. And Tamar sent her ass back to Baltimore. Okay, she said that she had stole a credit card and she went back to LA and she was sleeping on somebody's couch. And then all of a sudden, Toni had reached out to her probably 3 months later and offered her a job being her assistant, trying to help. Well, I'm not going to say trying to. I think that she was trying to help her niece out because it was her niece, but Toni didn't even know she was in LA. She was sleeping on somebody's couch. Toni didn't know she was in LA. She didn't even reach out to any of her family. I think that something probably happened with Ashley and they fell out, which is why she felt shunned by her dad's side of the family. Here we got Tamar tried to help you, then Toni tried to help you, and it seems like you fell out with both of them and you hadn't talked to them, which explains why Tamar hadn't seen her in 10 years, because she was in LA fucking up. You done fucked up over there with Tamar when she tried to help you. You done fucked over there with Toni when she tried to help you. And the thing with that Ashley has to realize is that Tamar is not her mother. Toni is not her mother. So Tamar will probably put up with a lot of stuff that Logan does because that is her child, right? Toni will probably put up with a lot of more stuff that Denham and I can't think of her other son name does because those are her children. Anything they're doing for you is extra. They just trying to help you, right? But they're going to raise their children and guide them the right way. Anything they're doing is extra. And she probably felt shunned or like sometimes people are ungrateful and they don't think that you're doing enough. Okay. Then they got down to the Tamar giving a down payment to Towanda. Now there's a discrepancy over $35,000 and $50,000. Now Towanda said that Tamar said that Towanda told her that the lender needed to see the money in her account and that she was waiting on the check. Now, whether it was $35,000 or $50,000, I'm confused because if you come and tell me that you need me to give you $35,000 to sit in your bank account so the lender can see it in your account, when do we get to the point where the money is being spent? Like I can't get past that. My motherfucking money is gone. I can't get past that. Now, Towanda said that it was a gift, and we used to help each other out like that as sisters. But from my understanding, Towanda has never been in a position to help Tamar out in the name of $35,000, right? And when you get to talking about Toni let Tamar and some man live in her condo and they didn't ever pay, that's none of your business, Towanda. That's none of your business. Unless you was able to help Tamar out to the tune of $35,000, I don't want to hear about what happened between Toni and Tamar. I'm talking about you. Okay? Do I believe, listen, I believe that Tamar lent the girl the money to sit into the account and the girl ended up spending the money. But we would have never, it wouldn't have been, she wouldn't have even been thinking that it was a gift. It wouldn't have been a chance for her to think it was a gift because I would have been on her ass about my money. I would have been on her ass about my money. Girl, because as soon as the people look into your account and see that $35,000 is in there and they get through doing what they need to do, you need to be on the ass in my money. Okay? Tamar also said that she had a phone. She ended up getting the phone cut off. She said that she found out that she was a part of Towanda's family plan. Towanda had 6 lines on it, and Tamar was paying for it every month and didn't even know it. And Tamar didn't know it because she probably was still with Vince when she was paying for it. And when she left Vince, she started regrouping and seeing where the money was going and where she was throwing money away at. Okay? And I definitely believe that Towanda did that. I definitely believe that. Listen, shit, that happened to me. My phone bill was almost $200 for one line. And my brother thought I was lying. Because he told me that his phone bill was $60. I called AT&T. I thought I only had one line. They had me a line for my phone. They had me a line for my watch. They had me signed up for all kind of shit. I told them, people, y'all don't get all that shit off my bill and get me to a $60 plan. And so they put me on a prepaid plan, which is honestly and truthfully, it's no different than the regular plan that I had before. And I pay $60 every month. Well, it'd be it's $55 now because they take it directly out of my account. You know, I don't believe in that though, but anything to get the bill cheaper. Okay. But it's so crazy because when I got my Apple Watch, they didn't tell me that they was adding another line to my account. They just went ahead and added it. Right. And I asked the man, well, shit, do the Apple Watch work without having a phone plan on it? And he was like, yeah, it worked. But I said, well, you need to take it up off of it. Take it up off of it. I didn't ask somebody to put no phone. I wouldn't even got the Apple Watch if I knew that the phone line came with it. And so that was just money down the drain. And another thing too, with the Apple Watch, I don't like the whole tapping and stuff on my arm and stuff like that. My phone is always on do not disturb. So it don't really tap me no more anyway. But yeah, I definitely believe that Tamar was over there paying that bill. And I definitely believe that Towanda was sneaky and backstabbing and conniving and knew that Tamar was paying that bill. I definitely believe that. Okay? Towanda accused Tamar of sleeping with Tony ex-man. I believe it. I believe it. Do I believe that he fucked Towanda? It's possible, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now, I want to know how either one of them was so close to the man that he told them that. Because according to Tamar, the man told him that he fucked Towanda, and but Towanda ain't really say how she know that Tamar was fucking. Okay? I believe that Tamar was messing with that man by how she behaved and how she acted when it came out on camera, and how at the end of the episode she conveniently tried to put out there that the year was 1995. And in 1995, Tamar would have been 17, turning 18 years old.
Yes.
No shade, no shade.
So when I say she's like like auntie, like niece, which means she would have been a minor, and whoever Toni was messing with was over 18 years old. And it also gives credence to when Tamar was saying when she was abused, her family didn't offer her any support, and they told her they didn't care because she was around that fucking Tony's name. Oh yes, you was around that fucking Tony's name, and that's why when it came to you, they was around there saying they didn't give a damn. They didn't give a damn. Okay. Now Tamar was reckless at the mouth. Tamar was reckless at the mouth. She got up and threw a drink. I don't think that she was really trying to hit Towanda. I think that she know if she would have hit Towanda, Towanda would have got up and whooped her ass. And when she hit that drink ever so delicately. She was not trying to hit Towanda with that drink. She wasn't trying to hit Towanda with that drink like Meredith did over here to Brittany the other day. Okay? Now, when we talk about stuff escalating, Toni was the one who got up and got in Tamar's face. And that's just the facts. That's just the facts. Tamar was talking reckless. Toni got out her seat and Toni got up and got into Tamar's face. That's what happened. Tamar was responding. Okay? If we judging off of what escalated it to where it got, Toni got out of her motherfucking seat. Okay? Now Trina touched Tamar. I think that Tamar was upset, like I said last week. Trina was digging at Tamar when she told Toni, "You're a superstar, you're a legend, you're an icon, girl, you got Grammys." And Tamar don't have no Grammys. While she was trying to sit at the table and say this Grammy, no, you have a Grammy nominated voice. You got 4 nominations. Tamar does not have a Grammy. She's in the same boat with Nicki Minaj, okay? But at this point, Trina is the op. Her and Tamar are sisters, but she's an op. And she should not have touched Tamar. She gave Tamar an excuse. You know how when you want to fight somebody and you're looking for any little thing that they do? That's what Tamar went off of. She wasn't threatened that Trina was getting between them or Trina tried to break them up and put her hand in the way, right? If you've been watching this show, you've known, and I'm talking about this show also with Braxton Family Values, Tamar has always been jealous that she was not the superstar of the family. She has always been jealous of Toni. They even showed it in the movie that Toni had on Lifetime. Shout out to Garcelle, okay? I remember it was even a point in time when Evelyn was checking Tamar one time, and she told her, "I cannot let y'all disrespect me. I don't care what you accomplish, and I don't care what you never accomplish." I knew then that Tamar was around there jealous and upset, and she wanted Toni's success. She wanted to be seen as a star. And as Toni said earlier in the episode, she didn't know that she knew Tamar wanted to be famous, but she didn't know that she wanted to be infamous. Tamar wants any type of fame that she can get. Right? She just wants to be famous. She don't care how she get it. She just wants to be a star. And she has the voice, but the antics is not going to get her there. And I wish she would know that. Okay? Now, Tamar, they say that Tamar pushed Trina. She grabbed her hair and she kicked her. I seen her push her. I didn't see her grab her hair or she kicked her, but she admitted to doing that. Okay? I think that Tamar did that to Trina because she knew that was the one she can get away with it with. She know her sisters, and she know who she can get away with it with. Okay? Toni was upset. Toni was trying to fight. I don't think that Toni. Could she get down? I don't know. She said there's a difference between Toni Braxton and Toni Michelle. Toni Michelle is no nonsense, okay? But she was trying to fight. Towanda came over there and hugged her, told her to press charges. Baby, that is some nasty work. That's some nasty work because you said that the girl was sick. You said that the girl was sick. Now, Towanda wanted Tamar to go to jail. I do believe that. She wanted Tamar to go to jail. But if she really wanted Tamar to go to jail, well, if she would have had a better chance of sending Tamar to jail if she would have said that to Trina. Because she's the one that was over there getting beat up and hit upside her head and getting kicked and stuff on. She didn't do all of that to Toni. Okay? Tamar said that all of the sisters are jealous. I definitely don't believe that. I believe that at first I was thinking that Towanda was probably jealous a little bit, but now my head has, I think that she was jealous of her when she was with Vince. And I think that she was jealous of her with Vince and the lifestyle that she had when she was with Vince. But do I think that Towanda is jealous of Tamar now? I don't. Okay? The way that Tamar was talking and acting, I don't think that Tamar would act like that with anybody outside of her sisters. She was not doing that in the big brother's house with Lolo. She would get her ass whooped if she would do that with other people. She can only do that with her sisters. Okay? Tamar is a stunt queen, but I'm not gonna lie. She did look good. Nice work. They gave us some nice work. Okay? Next, we got Trina and Towanda. Towanda is having a fitting for her bride tribe, is what she called it, and for the women in her bridal, or that's going to be in her wedding, who still need to get their measurements. And so they made a day of it. Towanda said that she doesn't want Tamar at her bridal shower or her wedding. She said that she's unpredictable, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't give her a chance to ruin my day, but I'm the oldest, right? And we always have to bite the bullet. I feel like the oldest child always have to bite the bullet. I couldn't see myself telling my siblings that they couldn't come to my wedding or any type of function that I was having. If they wanted to come and they wanted to show up, they can come. The thing is, Tamar don't want to come. You get what I'm saying? She really don't want to come. I don't think that she's hurt. She don't want to come. She look at it like it's less than. She don't really want to be there. She don't really want to be there. Okay? If I had got into it with my brother or my sister about something and I was having something and they showed up, then they show up. I'm looking at it as a peace offering. That's just what I would have said. I doubt that Tamar would have came there on some, I don't know. She is unpredictable. Okay? Now Toni done went and took her ass to Miami. Okay? Now she said that she shared the same crew as Angie Stone. And we all know that they was all involved in the accident with Angie Stone, but Angie was the one who passed away. So she had to get to Miami to rehearse and get a whole new crew. Now, did you hear them say that Toni actually had to sing? And so that led me to believe that most of the time that Toni don't be singing. So I will not be going to go see Toni Braxton New Edition and Boyz II Men. I already don't think that she was singing when we saw her over there today, over there on the Today Show. Okay, and I don't want to hear nothing about Toni got no lupus either. Listen, my heart goes out to the people with the lupus of the world.
And I'm sorry. But don't think I'm not, because I'm not crying and doing all that. Don't think I'm not.
What I'm saying is this. I am a person, and a lot of y'all are different than me. I'm a person who will, I can accept a bad vocal performance if you're singing live, right? Because I know you're not going to always be on. I can accept a bad vocal performance if you're singing live. When I come to a show, I want to hear live vocals. I want to hear live vocals, period. Okay? I could see if Toni was dancing the house down and 8 counting the house down, but Toni ain't really doing nothing. And what she do don't even require all that. It don't. Okay? Now, Toni ended up calling Towanda and she told Towanda that she was not going to make her Bridgerton bridal shower.
Don't you guys?
No,
I said it.
I
I
know,
said it. I
Danielle.
said it.
I told y'all. I told y'all. Trina was crying. Towanda seemed crushed, and I really feel bad for Towanda. And I think now, I believe that Towanda has become nasty. This nasty person that we see because she's hurt. All right? I think that she's always being looked over, and I don't think that she is appreciated. We are seeing a different Towanda than we seen when the show first started. Okay? I think that Toni is out of line, but I don't think Towanda is no fool though. Because Towanda said, I feel sorry for what happened to Angie and her crew. I understand what happened to them. But how come Toni didn't have this scratched out? Because this has been planned for 8 months.
Like what?
Boom.
Like,
That's the reason why.
I don't think that Toni ever planned on going to the bridal shower. And I can guarantee you, I could bet you my last dollar, Toni probably didn't even have a dress. Toni probably didn't even have a dress. Toni is around there saying that she was going to make it up. Baby, you could throw all the money in the world. It's some things that money can't buy. Your sister needed you there for her bridal shower with her. And also, Toni, you don't get to throw money in people's face when you're going to be crying about it later. And I gave this person this and I gave that person, and I'm always looking to do this, girl. But you always trying to lead with money. Whatever, you could only make it up to her with money and trying to buy her something. There's nothing else that you can do. But when you always crying about what you done did for somebody, you haven't did it on camera. You did it on camera on Braxton Family Values, right? But you don't get to try to throw money in people's face to make up for your shortcomings and then cry about it later on. You don't get to do that. Your sister needed you there. When your sister have a bridal shower, you there. Okay? Tamar is shooting some promo pics for her new single. Tamar looked good, okay? But her titties was hopping out everywhere. But she looked good. That was some good work that they gave Tamar, okay? She was talking to OG. Tamar didn't really take accountability to me. She was talking about with everybody else. They was throwing drinks and doing this. No, baby. Tamar, you was the one that was cursing them out. Tamar, you was the one that was throwing drinks. Now, Toni got in your face, but Tamar, you was the one who pulled Trina's hair. You was the one who kicked Trina. You was the one who pushed Trina. Okay? And I also blame OG too, because I feel like the producers be over there keeping up shit between these sisters. I do. We've seen them do it before. I think that they would be over there keeping up shit. I do. Trying to give us a good show. It's good though. I'm not gonna lie, it's good. Okay. Now we get to Towanda, baby, bridal shower. Baby, Towanda is upset because she wanted the girls to be there before her. Towanda, it doesn't mean that they don't care, but people can't dedicate their whole day to you, baby. Okay? Towanda had 4 fucking events, right? 4. And I could try to make all of them. And I can dedicate my next 4 or 5 hours to you to celebrate you, baby. We're going to celebrate you. Congratulations. Happy birthday. You get married. But, baby, we got stuff that we got to take care of. These are all women. I'm assuming they all got kids and lives and stuff that's going on. Baby, they wasn't there before you. You can't be upset because everybody wasn't there before you arrived. If you wanted everybody there, your assistant was at the door. You should have had your assistant text you when everybody was there, waiting on you. Okay, be on your way. Everybody here waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not going to go the way that you planned it. Shit, you lucky that you got people there. Okay? But y'all, that was the episode. Tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think all of this falls on Tamar? Or do you think Toni escalated the situation when she got out of her seat? And do you think Trina escalated the situation by putting her hands on Tamar to break them up? Listen, you don't put your hands on the op. And I know that they sisters, but in this situation, that is the op. Okay? And how do y'all feel about Toni missing Towanda's bridal shower? Do y'all think that Toni is wrong? And most importantly, do y'all think that she had any intentions on showing up? I don't believe that Toni had any intentions on showing up. I told y'all the first episode, I don't believe that Toni was showing up. But y'all, that's all I got right now. Y'all, thank y'all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.